OITPC. Joshua Stewart, Pipe Up North. Well, got a codger and a corn cob and Tobacco Tin Tuesday coming up. But first, I'm just going to say people must like Hardcastles. That video I made about that Hardcastle pipe a couple days ago, that thing got a little bit of traction. So thank you for everybody, and I got a bunch of new subscribers, so thank you. So with that, I'll maybe do another explanation for the new subscribers. Every Tuesday for a while now, I've been doing codger and a corn cob and Tobacco Tin Tuesday, because a lot of other guys do the corn cob or the cob Tuesdays, so this is just kind of my take on it. And then the tobacco tin end of it. A couple months ago, my mother, well, she started collecting tobacco tins probably back in the 70s, as far back as I can remember anyway. And she acquired a pretty decent collection over the years. And when they moved to their new house, she gave me the collection. So we'll start out the corn cob. Just a Missouri Meerschaum Legend bent stem. It's probably my go-to corn cob for. I've got several of these, so. You got a couple of the ones that are just like a step above, like the Country Gentlemen's, which I like them too, but these are just kind of a nice size for a fairly quick smoke. They're not heavy. They smoke well and they're cheap. So, and they hold a filter, which, especially when I'm smoking aromatics, I like to have a filter. So in the corn cob today, my codger, one I actually haven't had for a while, but I bought this about a year ago. Got the old Smoker's Pride Vanilla Cavendish. I got 11/29/23 when I got it. So it's almost, I've had it almost a year. Who knows, I don't know if there's a date on the package on when. There's a date code there. So that was obviously made before end of November of 23. And right when I got it, I opened it up, I had a couple bowls, and I don't think I've had any since. And say, well, this package is about empty. Well, that's because I put most of it in jars and sealed them up kind of for long-term storage. And I got maybe 2 ounces in here, maybe 3 ounces. What was it, 12-ounce package? So yeah, probably about 2 ounces left in there. And when I grabbed it, it's been in the bag the whole time. That little Ziploc seal wasn't sealed. So I grabbed it and I'm thinking, well, it's been almost a year. It's like, oh, it's probably all dried out, but it's like moisture level's perfect. So I don't know if it's the propylene glycol or whatever that just doesn't evaporate, or if maybe since I had it rolled up, if that, and then there's stuff stacked on top of it, if that sealed it well enough, I don't know, but moisture level's about perfect. And it smells wonderful. Tastes okay. Pretty good even. But for me, I gotta go really slow, otherwise it'll bite. But for a super cheap tobacco, if you like vanilla, it's pretty good. I've got a few bags of some of the other Smoker's Pride blends too. But I got the Classic and Black Cavendish. Haven't actually tried them. I've had them for a few months, but I've never cracked them open. But can't say what the room note smells like, but say bag note was very pleasant. And it tastes pretty good. See, I haven't had too many other vanillas lately. I used to go to the, what was it, vanilla custard. I used to enjoy that quite a bit, but I haven't went back to that for a while. But I'm finding myself, which isn't uncommon apparently in the pipe smoking journey, I'm finding less and less that I'm going to the aromatics, which I don't know, they're still good, but I'm just finding that a lot of them tend to bite me, and I don't like to get bit. And I'm getting spoiled with some of I got that HU Louisiana Broken. I've been hitting that quite a bit lately. That's some, you can't burn your tongue with that stuff. I mean, it's not an aromatic by any means, but it's really good stuff. So once it's available again, I'll probably be stocking up on some of that. I'm finding for my, well, of course, the Byronic Hero from Ken Byron, that's been discontinued. So what I have is all I'll ever have of that. So have to ration it out over a while. And so I was kind of trying to figure out kind of a go-to straight Virginia for myself. Well, this was even before I knew that the Byronic Hero was going to be discontinued. So maybe about a month ago or so. Maybe even a little longer ago than that, I don't remember. But I decided that my go-to straight Virginia was going to be the HH Pure Virginia from McMahon. So I hadn't really started to do a deep seller on that at all yet. I decided to go with that just because it seemed like it was more available than the Sam Gawith Full Virginia Flake, and cheaper than Capstan Blue, which I like the Capstan Blue too, but and they're both McBaron products apparently, but now with the news with the Sutliff McBaron getting bought out by STG, who knows if that Full Virginia Flake, or not the Full Virginia Flake, the HH Pure Virginia, I would think they'd be kind of idiots to discontinue it. And they'd be idiots to discontinue anything in the HH line, but then some of the Sutliff blends too are going to be, yeah, it's going to be interesting over the next few months and years how that's all going to shake out. And it's bad enough that they're shutting down or have shut down the Sutliff plant in, where was it, North Carolina or Virginia or South, wherever it was. Forgive my ignorance, but I did hear that they shut the plant down or are shutting it down, which, and it's never a good deal when good paying jobs are just thrown away. But from the consumer end, I hope that they can cut costs enough to lower prices for the final end product. I doubt it, but one could wish. So anyway, enough about a rant. On to the tobacco tin for Tuesday. Got kind of an oddball here. QBOID? QBOID? I believe, yeah, that's a Q. Granulated Plug. And down there it says no rubbing required. Guaranteed not to bite the tongue. Sounds like my kind of tobacco. Larson Bro Company. Now, if that name sounds familiar, that was around from, I believe, the 1800s all the way until, I think it was the late 60s, and they made something that I'm sure everybody's heard of, the Edgeworth slices and ready rubbed. That was that Larson and Bro. That's the company that made that. So in my research finding out as much as I could about this, I couldn't really find anything other than some Laris history. This particular tin, I was guessing it was probably around the turn of the century, but when I was reading about the Laris and Brother Company, what was it? They said the Edgeworth Ready Rubbed was the first, ready rubbed tobacco in, was it 1912 or something like that? I don't remember. So I don't know if it's not a ready rub, it's a granulated plug. So I don't know if just running a plug through a grinder is what that meant. If that was available before the ready rub, I don't know. But I'm sure pre-1920 at any rate. But that QBOID name, when I looked at that, it struck me. It sounds like one of those Amazon off-brand names that you see. But that's where my brain went when I saw it. But beautiful little tin. I don't know what a lot of these don't have the size on them. Probably your 1.5 ounces thereabouts. I've seen some of them 1 3/8, 1 5/8. But usually if there was what do we got here? I didn't. Top says the original and still the standard. I didn't see that before. Kind of a neat oval shape. So, but yeah, otherwise, I don't know what the components were of the tobacco. Burley, Virginia, most likely. But yeah, interesting old tin. And that Larson and Brother Company also made the High Plane, which I think I shared that a few weeks ago. And oh yeah, it's right up there. Got the High Plane. So I don't know. Maybe this became High Plane. I don't know. That's maybe a stretch, but interesting old tin. yeah, this Smoker's Pride. If you like vanilla and you can keep it slow enough where it doesn't bite you, not bad. Would it be an everyday smoke for me? Not for me. Although I've seen some of the Smoker's Pride blends available at places where there's nothing else. So if it got to the point that mail order was no longer an option, I guess if that's all there was, that's probably what I'd have. But I'll pose a question as long as I'm thinking about the Smoker's Pride stuff. If you've tried a couple of the Smoker's Pride blends, what's your favorite? I don't remember offhand how many different blends there are. Say I've got the Black Cavendish and the Classic that I haven't opened yet. I know they've got the cherry and the whiskey. And honestly, I don't have much desire to try the cherry. I like the Blood Red Moon, but that's probably the only cherry blend that I really like. But, yeah, maybe I should reassess. I probably could smoke this every day. But it's just that I know that there's a lot of other stuff out there that at this point is still available that I like better. So anyway, then what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, let's do that. Forget what I'm going to say. Oh, Carolina Rose. My apologies. I forgot to enter your VR thing, and I might still do something to that effect about the favorite pet. So I'll do a after the fact VR here for you, just for the fun of it. I don't remember the exact question, but that's where I got thrown off because I think it was something to the effect of our favorite pet, and obviously loved Mittens, but we had a cat when I was growing up that just loved him. He was a Siamese that my parents got a couple months before I was born. And him and I were tight like from day one. When mom and dad brought me home from the hospital, I mean, he would sleep in the bassinet with me, which I don't remember that, but that's what my parents told me. And they'd probably get turned into Child Protective Services these days for letting a cat sleep with a kid in a bassinet, but him and I were buddies. And so here's the part where I got distracted with it. I was looking for a picture of him to share that I know I had, but it wasn't in the photo album that I thought it was. This is like an actual film photograph picture that I had. So, and that picture was from when I was in high school. So, and Mom and Dad ended up having to put him down while I was away at college. So he was 18 or 19 years old when they had to put him down. And which is, in a way, kind of amazing that he, well, I shouldn't say it's amazing because he was pretty healthy, other than he was a little, how should we say, tubby. Because we had two Siamese cats growing up. This Samson, he was the one that kind of took to me, the male, and then we had a female who was given the name of one of the lady villains in a James Bond movie, which I won't repeat here. But Samson, the male that took to me, he was just he was chill. I mean, he loved everybody. And the female, with the name that I will not repeat on a public forum, I guess, so to speak, she was, when I was a kid, she didn't like me. And she was, the male cat, he was, like I say, a little tubby, and she was very slender and kind of very proper. She was a purebred, and she knew it. And but as she got older, she kind of took to me, and we got to be buddies and stuff too. But that male Samson, he was probably my favorite pet. And so as I got into high school, I knew that his time was starting to get short, and didn't know how much longer we'd be able to have him. And he was had cataracts real bad the last couple of years, so he was getting to be almost blind. And then he started having some bladder control issues, like isn't uncommon as they get older. But yeah, so he was probably my favorite pet. Then the other part of the VR about smoking cigars is, I would probably say generally a no. I've had a couple of the cheap, either wrapped in blue or pink for It's a Boy, It's a Girl. Had a couple of Swisher Sweets, although I haven't had one of those even in probably 20 years. But as far as a real premium cigar, no, I've never had one. I did get a few a while back on cigar bids, so I've probably got 5 or 10 of them that I've got that I'm just I'm gonna try them one of these days. I couldn't tell you what they are, but they're not, I guess, high-end premium, but hopefully they're going to be pretty decent. But I'll do one of them one of these days when I've got a good hour and a half to sit down and just take my time with it. Who knows, maybe I'll hate them. So anyway, with that, we're got everything I need to talk about today, and there's a few other things too, but I'll have to do them in the next video when I can remember what they are, and maybe I'll write them down one of these days. But so, this is Joshua Stewart, Pipe Up North. You have a good day.